We live our lives a quarter mile at a time. Every second counts. Every heartbeat syncs with the rhythm of the road. That's all it takes to feel truly alive. The thrill of acceleration, the rush of adrenaline coursing through your veins, the roar of the engine, the wind screaming past your face, the blur of the world outside. It's an experience like no other. That's where I find my freedom. In those fleeting moments, I am truly free, unbound by the constraints of everyday life. But this isn't just about speed, it's about passion. A deep, unyielding passion that drives us to perfect every detail. A passion for machines that are more than just metal and rubber, they're dreams forged in steel. Each part, each component tells a story. This is a story about those dreams. Dreams that take shape in the form of sleek, powerful machines. A story about exotic cars. Cars that captivate our imagination and fuel our desires. From the moment I first laid eyes on a classic muscle car, I was hooked. The allure was irresistible. The curves, the power, the sheer audacity of it all. These cars are not just vehicles, they are statements. It was like a rebel yell echoing through time. A defiant roar that challenges the status quo. And trust me, I know a thing or two about rebellion. It's in our nature to push boundaries. This love affair with exotic cars, it's not just mine. It's a passion shared by many. It's a shared language spoken by millions around the world. A universal bond that unites us. It transcends borders, languages, everything. It's a testament to our collective love for these magnificent machines. It's about the pursuit of perfection, the relentless drive to push the limits of what's possible, to always strive for more, to never settle. Every great story has its beginning. The story of exotic cars is no different. It's a story written in chrome, leather, and gasoline. It's the story of pioneers, of visionaries who dared to dream of a different kind of car. A car that wasn't just about getting from point A to point B, but about the journey itself. Back in the day, it was all about raw power, about taming the beast under the hood. Cars like the Ferrari 250 GTO and the Lamborghini Miura, they weren't just cars, they were works of art. Sculpted lines, roaring engines, they were a symphony of speed and style. These cars weren't just fast, they were game changers. They redefined what a car could be. They set the bar high, pushing other manufacturers to step up their game. They ignited a fire in the hearts of generations to come, a fire that still burns bright today. But these cars, they're more than just machines. They're time capsules, each one carrying the spirit of its era. They reflect the culture, the technology, the dreams of a generation. Think about it. The sleek, aerodynamic lines of a car from the 70s spoke of a world obsessed with speed and progress. The bold, angular designs of the 80s screamed power and excess. Each era brought its own flavor, its own innovations. But one thing remained constant: the passion. The passion of the designers, the engineers, the drivers. These cars were built on passion, fueled by passion, and driven by passion. We all have that need for speed, that primal urge to push the limits. It's in our blood. And these cars, they give us the chance to unleash that need, to experience the world at its most exhilarating. But it's not just about going fast in a straight line. It's about the handling, the precision, the feeling of being one with the machine. It's about taking a corner at impossible speeds, feeling the tires grip the road, knowing that you're in complete control. That's what separates the drivers from the dreamers. It's not just about having the fastest car, it's about having the skill, the courage, and the sheer will to push it to its limits. Section 5. Guardians of the Legacy. We're all guardians of this legacy. A legacy of speed, of innovation, of pushing the boundaries of what's possible. It's a legacy passed down from generation to generation, from the pioneers who built the first exotic cars to the drivers who continue to push them to their limits today. We owe it to them to keep their memory alive, to keep the spirit of speed alive, to never stop pushing, never stop innovating, never stop dreaming of what's next. The road ahead is long and winding, but one thing's for sure: the future of exotic cars is bright. Section 1. Birth of Legends. The 50s and 60s, man, those were the days. A time when legends were born on the racetracks of Europe. The roar of engines echoed through the hills, signaling the birth of a new breed of automotive excellence. These weren't just cars, they were statements of ambition, rolling sculptures of speed and power. Back then, it was all about pushing boundaries. Designers were like artists, shaping metal with an almost unstoppable fervor. They weren't afraid to experiment, to challenge convention. And what they created wasn't just beautiful, it was revolutionary. These cars weren't mass-produced machines, they were handcrafted masterpieces. Each one unique, built with meticulous care and attention to detail. The smell of leather, the gleam of polished chrome, the roar of the engine igniting to life. It was an experience like no other. Section 2. Ferrari. The prancing horse takes flight. You can't talk about exotic cars without talking about Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari, he wasn't just a car builder, he was a visionary. He saw the potential of these machines, not just as race cars, but as symbols of Italian excellence. The Ferrari 250 GTO, that was his masterpiece. A car that dominated the racetrack and became an icon on the streets. Sleek, powerful, with a sound that could make your heart skip a beat, it was the embodiment of everything Ferrari stood for. I remember the first time I saw a GTO up close. It was at a car show in LA. The crowd was buzzing, everyone wanting a closer look. And when they started it up, the sound, man, it was like music. Raw, powerful, unforgettable. Section 3. Lamborghini, a bull among stallions. But Ferrari wasn't alone in this race. Ferruccio Lamborghini, a tractor manufacturer with a need for speed, decided to challenge the status quo. He wanted to create a car that was even faster, even more outrageous than anything Ferrari had ever produced. And he did. The Lamborghini Miura, with its radical design and screaming V12 engine, took the world by storm. It was a car that defied expectations, a symbol of Italian passion and engineering prowess. The Miura wasn't just a car, it was a statement. It showed the world that there was room for more than one legend on the track. It pushed Ferrari to innovate, to push their own boundaries. And that's what made this era so special. The competition, the drive to be the best. Section 4. Elegance and power, the perfect marriage. These cars weren't just about raw power, they were about elegance. They were about finding that perfect balance between form and function. The curves were sensual, the lines were sleek and aerodynamic. Take the Jaguar E-Type, for example. A car so beautiful, so perfectly proportioned, that Enzo Ferrari himself called it the most beautiful car ever made. He wasn't wrong. These cars were designed to turn heads, to make a statement wherever they went. They were symbols of success, of a life lived in the fast lane. But they were also works of art, meant to be admired and appreciated for their beauty as much as their power. Section 5. A legacy forged in speed. The cars of this era, they weren't just machines, they were trailblazers. They set the stage for everything that came after. They showed the world what was possible when you combined passion, innovation, and a need for speed. They inspired generations of car enthusiasts, including myself. They showed us that dreams could be built on four wheels, that limits were meant to be broken. And that's what this story is all about. The pursuit of excellence, the relentless drive to push the boundaries of what's possible. It's a story that began on the racetracks of Europe and continues to this day, fueled by the passion of millions around the world. The 70s and 80s, man, the game changed. The oil crisis hit, regulations tightened, the world felt different. But you know what? True passion, it never dies. It just adapts, evolves. And the cars, they evolved too. Designers started thinking differently. Dynamics became key, fuel efficiency mattered. But don't think for a second that they sacrificed style or power. No way. They found new ways to push the limits, to create cars that were both efficient and exhilarating. This was the era of the supercar. Cars like the Lamborghini Countach, the Porsche 911 Turbo, the Ferrari Testarossa. These machines were on another level. They were raw, powerful, and they looked like they were going 100 miles an hour just standing still. Now, let's talk about the Porsche 911 Turbo, specifically the 930 generation. They called it the Widowmaker, and for good reason. This car was a beast, a rear-engined monster with turbo lag that could catch you off guard. But in the right hands, man, it was a symphony of speed and precision. It demanded respect, demanded your full attention. But once you tamed it, there was no feeling like it. The 930 Turbo wasn't just a car, it was a statement. It said, "I play by my own rules." And that resonated with a lot of people. It became a cultural icon, appearing in movies, TV shows, on posters on bedroom walls all over the world.